there's no like secret recipe to fighting. It's just you show up and you train and you go out there and perform. And I feel like a big part is obviously mental. There's a lot of guys I've seen in gyms that, man, they're in the gym and they'll beat the crap out of you, but then they get in the cage and they don't perform very well. So I feel like I'm definitely in a better mental space than I was as an amateur and in my younger years, because I got people that are just, I used to not believe them, you know, because I was like, I don't think I'm that good. But now it's like I'm starting to just take it out there with me. Like, I mean, anybody can beat anybody, but like I'm on right now, so just keep that in my head when I go out there and fight.
Hey, I'd like to give a special shout out to the sponsor of our show, the Makeover Master. I can't say enough good things about them, as they've done a ton to help grow our show and support our mission through their branding and brand strategy help. Honestly, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without them. Here's the deal. If you run a business and you want more awareness, leads, and sales, everyone out there is telling you that their strategy, tool, or tactic is the magic pill that will give it to you fast and easy. But these quick fix solutions don't work for most, because most businesses are either missing the foundations or they're out of order, and the foundations are what make all these online strategies work. Well, I have some awesome news for you. Because of our sponsorship with the Makeover Master, I'm able to give you their $997 foundations course for free. I've been through this course myself, and it is packed with so much value, and it's unlike any other course out there today. You can get through it in less than a few hours, and it will completely transform your perspective on what really matters and why it matters when it comes to having more success with your business online. If you go to the show notes of this episode, our sponsors page, or visit ericalamedia.com/foundations today, you can get access to the course completely free. And I'm not really sure when this free offer is going to end, so go to ericalamedia.com/foundations and get your free $997 gift from me to you.
Chance, you're the current HR MMA lightweight champion. Thank you again for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, dude. I like to go back to the beginning to kind of start things off. Where did you grow up? What was childhood like for you?
I grew up, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
I grew up about 8 miles south of there in Riverdale, Georgia. Just started martial arts about the age of 12. Started Taekwondo and Judo. Never wrestled. Never played any other sports, really. Stuck with that. Turned about the time I was 19 is when I started Muay Thai, and then found Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, kind of started transitioning into that. That got me into MMA. I started wanting to fight though when I was about 14. I'd rented a UFC tape back when you could still rent VHSs.
Yeah, dude, totally.
So I rented one of those, and it was UFC 1, and I never seen it or heard of it, and I watched it, and I looked at my cousin, because he's the one who had gotten me into Taekwondo at 12. He was 20s. And I was like, "What's this?" And he's like, "Oh, you don't want to do that." I was like, "Man, I think I want to do that." I grow up. That's what I want to do. So he went off to the military, and I found me a Muay Thai gym, which led me into finding Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like I said, and I ended up training under Paul Creighton, who's a Renzo Gracie black belt.
Yeah.
Out of Atlanta, Georgia. I trained with him for about 9 years.
Okay.
I'd moved out here to Kentucky, and I was there's a period there I didn't fight for a while. I didn't train for about another 4. And then I moved from Louisville out to where I'm at now in Radcliffe, Kentucky. And Elizabethtown's the neighboring city, and there's not a lot to do out here. So I was like, maybe I'll just get back in the gym and start training again, grappling. That was the whole purpose of me finding the gym here. Went there, signed up with those guys. After like 5 weeks, did a jiu-jitsu tournament, won the division. And then it was like 2 days later, my coach had called me. My coach now, Josh Johnson, had called me. He's like, "Hey, there's a fight offer in Iowa. You want to take it? You feel like getting back into it?" I was like, "When?" He's like, 4 days. I was like, "All right, man, yeah, I'll do it."
That's awesome.
I was like, "Heck, if I go out there and win, I'll jump back in it. We'll see how it goes." So went out to Iowa, fought that fight September 26, 2020. So that was my birthday.
Okay.
Good way to spend a birthday. First time I'd ever done that.
Yeah.
So I went out there. I beat Jesse Erik in the second round he tapped the strikes. And then we came back, trained some more, took another fight. It got canceled for December. Took another fight February. Had an opponent drop out due to injury. Got a replacement opponent about a month out, Marcus Hall. Got that knockout in the first round with him, 12 seconds in. And then that lined me up for that HRMMA title shot where I just recently fought April 24th and fought Ruben War, which is someone I trained with. Very, very good fighter. Yeah, went in there and finished him in the second round. I'm the first person to ever submit him out of 24 professional fights.
Wow.
He also hadn't been finished in I think about six years or so, period.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. And you finish fights on the ground, you finish fights standing up. Like where do you prefer to take the fights?
When I started into this, coming from Taekwondo and then the Muay Thai I got into, I was like, I used to watch Dwayne Ludwig fights. Like that was like the guy I looked up to coming up because I found King of the Cage DVD box sets that I would buy and he was all over them.
Yeah.
So I kind of pick his style and I was like, I always want to go in there and strike. But when I first transitioned into MMA from amateur Muay Thai, because I was 2-0 in amateur Muay Thai before I went into MMA.
Okay.
And
Nice.
I would come in there and want to strike, and like these guys they figured out I kind of struck, so they would end up taking me down, and then I would submit them, and then it just went from there. And now I just got to where it's whatever works, man.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure, dude. Well, I mean, like you said, you won the HRMMA lightweight championship back there in April, second round via guillotine choke. Congratulations on that. Your next fight, though, it's for the B2 Fighting Series, July 23rd for their lightweight belt. What does it take to be a champion?
I mean, I held amateur titles at featherweight because I didn't even move up to lightweight until September because I was like, man, I'm not cutting weight. I'm not cutting back down to 45. I walk around like maybe 165 tops.
Okay. Nice.
So, but yeah, what does it take to be a champion? I don't know, man. Just discipline. As far as like, got to keep eating clean. Can't party. You got to decide when it's like time to get away from the people that you're partying with a lot, and then you just kind of buckle down, do your fight camp, show up and train.
Yeah.
Show up and put in the work, and the results come in the cage, man. I don't really think there's any secret. Like there's no like secret recipe to fighting. It's just you show up and you train and you go out there and perform. And I feel like a big part is obviously mental. There's a lot of guys I've seen in gyms that, man, they're in the gym and they'll beat the crap out of you, but then they get in the cage and they don't perform very well. So I feel like I'm definitely in a better mental space than I was as an amateur and in my younger years, because I got people that are just, I used to not believe them, you know, because I was like, I don't think I'm that good. But now it's like I'm starting to just take it out there with me. Like, I mean, anybody can beat anybody, but like I'm on right now, so just keep that in my head when I go out there and fight.
Yeah, I love that, man. And what's the hardest thing for you about fighting?
The hardest, it's probably just you kind of put yourself in a bubble and like in a prison, because you're just like I got a job, so I go to work, I go train, I come home, and like I don't really, don't friends like, hey, come hang out, do this. I'm like, I can't, can't really do that right now. So yeah, that's probably the hardest thing. Just kind of there's a lot of seclusion.
Yeah.
As far as like the outside world, but that's about it for me, because I'm such a social person. Outside in my outside life, like, yeah, I guess that's kind of the hard part.
Yeah. And your opponent there at B2 Fighting Series title is Adam Asenza. I'm sure I botched that his name there, but he's gone the distance the last 3 fights. Without giving your kind of game plan away, your strategy there, how do you see this fight playing out?
He's good. His footwork's real good. He's like you said, he's won decision. His cardio's obviously there.
Yeah.
I think his striking's respectable. But honestly, right now, I mean, I don't feel like anybody can beat me right now at this level. I feel like it's time for me to I feel like Asenza is probably going to be a tough fight, but I see another finish. I just don't see me. I'm like, it's not like I ever go out there and looking for a finish or like I'm going to do this. It happens. And it's like pressure. I feel like I've been getting better at pressure. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And you fought for a lot of promotions over the years. Was there, or is there a promotion that you fought for that they just really stood out to you as really taking care of their fighters?
Oh yeah. B2 fighting series. Cause they're so HRMMA is like B2 is like the umbrella, I guess you would say. And then HRMA was one of the promotions under that. So I'm the 155-pound champion for them, but it's kind of absorbing into B2. So I'm just defending the title.
Gotcha.
So I'm not separate title.
Okay.
But yeah, they stand out to me as far as, yeah, they take care of you, man. They just treat you good. It's a good atmosphere. Pays good, especially right now during COVID, and the fact that, over this whole, like, there was a lot of areas that, weren't getting fights, and B2 kept following all the guidelines and doing all the necessary things to make sure they could keep fighters busy.
Yeah.
So,
gotcha. I mean, and as a fighter, and you kind of touched base on this, earlier, but you have to be disciplined in everything that you do. Like, what's that morning routine look like for you to kind of help set the tone for the day to make it a successful day?
I just wake up at 6, make my bed. It's like the first thing you try to start with.
Yeah, me too, man, for sure.
Yeah, small things, and then coffee, breakfast. There's some days I leave and I go to work, and then I get off and train, and then I got days where I wake up and I go to the gym, then work, then get off and train.
Sure.
So it's just on the days that I'm not working that morning and I go in, I'm Jiu Jitsu, and then usually those nights there's another session of kickboxing, stand up, MMA training.
Nice.
I fit in rounds of conditioning and stuff on the weekends, more Jiu Jitsu, pad work, just all that, man. There's no weightlifting. I've never in the, what am I? I'm 34 now, and I started martial arts at 12. I've never in that 22 years lifted weights. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's awesome, man.
I figured people are telling, like, man, you might want to lift some weights. I'm like, I was like, there's no way I'm going to 6-7 weeks out just become some monster I wasn't before, so I don't really feel like I need to add that right now, or if it'll ever happen.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of injuries, a lot of joint problems with people that do a lot of weightlifting. So
yeah,
I stay away from it.
Gotcha. Oh, that's rad, man. I wanted to shift to some fun questions. I've got these things called pod decks, essentially just random questions, man. I'm gonna pull one out here, and hopefully it's not a flop for us. We'll see how it goes. This one says, which band or artist, dead or alive, would you like to play at your funeral?
Oh, Leonard Skinner, man.
Heck yeah, dude.
That's what we put my dad down to. So it's like, that song means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome, man. Now, they're one of my favorite bands, dude. So I love that. I noticed on Instagram, you've posted some really nice watches, man. How many watches do you own?
Right now I'm up to 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, and when you're not fighting, you're not training, man, like, what are you doing for fun?
I go with my buddies. We'll like dance and stuff, go to the club, be dudes, man, just be regular guys, like go out of the city. I grew up in Atlanta, so I've always been, and I lived in St. Louis, I've lived in LA, San Antonio.
Okay.
So where I'm at now is the first time I've kind of been away from like that city life thing.
Sure.
So I'll still, if I'm not training, I'll go out to Louisville and hang out with a lot of my friends out there, and we'll just do the little club hopping bar thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But sorry. I was gonna say ATVs and stuff like that. Like my brother, he's into that. We do that a lot. ATVs, side by side.
Oh, yeah, nice, man. I'm a music guy, so I love to ask the question, like, what's the favorite type of music for you? Or do you have a favorite band that you like to listen to?
I'm all over the place.
Okay.
Band right now, I don't know.
Okay.
Like hard to put a finger on a band.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Like when it comes to bands, I guess I'm a little older in that. There's a sense that everybody's like solo now.
Right.
band thing going on. But yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers is something I'll put on when I'm
for sure.
house kind of hanging out.
They are my bucket list band. I've not seen yet. One of these days, I will see those guys.
I had a buddy named Kyle in Atlanta, man. He could play every one of their songs on his guitar. Like every word there. He's like one of the biggest fans that I might have ever met.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Chance, I also wanted to give you an opportunity to just give a shout out to coaches, teammates, sponsors, anything like that, man. The camera's all yours, bro.
Okay. Shout out to Elizabethtown Kickboxing and Jiu Jitsu for me. Just stumbling upon them, and Josh Johnson, Rob Mooney, Cliff Leven, those guys taking time with me, getting me ready for these fights. MMA Tee Co for taking me on and sponsoring me. You can get one of your shirts from my fights over there at MMATeeCo.com /Chance Beck. And then Zach Lynn's Tattoos out here in Radcliffe, Kentucky. He's a tattoo artist. He does pretty good work. He does really great work. I can't say pretty. Really great work.
Yeah.
Bobby
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Bobby Kennedy, aka T Razor, Vintage Barber Lounge in Germantown, Kentucky. That's where I go get my hair cut. He does a great job with that. So.
Nice, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. It's such an honor to have you on, Chance, and looking forward to seeing you back in the cage in July here. Those guys at MMA Tee Co, man, such great guys. I had them on my show actually a couple of weeks back, man, and they're just great dudes to be working with, man. So, man, again, super honored to have you on. Thank you for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching the show today. I appreciate it. If you could, please leave a rating and review on our Apple podcast. The link is down below. That helps us get our message out, get the show out, helps us get ranked out there on the Apple podcast. Also, leave a comment below, man. I'd love to know what part of this show made the most impact on you. I respond to every comment on there. And please share this video, whether you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Please share it out. We want to make sure that we impact as many people as we can with the guests that come on my show and highlight those guests and what they've got going on, and they're changing the world. So thank you so much for the time. So appreciate it. Have an awesome day.